Hello, everybody. It's John Kranz with Compass Games. I want to welcome you to Compass Games Live. Can you believe it? Episode 66. Can't believe it. September 30th, and it's great to end the month of September with you guys. We're definitely on a high note. Excited about the catalog sale that's coming. Hear a lot of chatter about folks already noticing on the website that the website has been updated. You'll find sales prices now on our website. We're going to talk more about the catalog sale during our town hall next week when Bill Thomas joins us. The catalogs were delayed just a little bit, so that's why we'll wait till next week to talk about the catalogs, because you'll probably start getting them around that time. But definitely check out our website. You'll see the sales price is already built into the product pricing. So we're really excited about that. Let's go ahead and do a quick update. We've got actually quite a bit to cover today. What I thought I'd do, no interviews for tonight, although we're going to have our regular guest, Maurice Fitzgerald, Mo, on from Mo's Game Table to talk about Learn to Play series, some Vassal development updates on our side, and a few other things. So we are going to introduce here Mo in a moment, but let's go through just really quickly the schedule that we have. So I'll go ahead and add that now. So again, you'll see this on the home page. So I'll just zoom in just for a moment. But again, you can see this on your own. But just to reiterate the release schedule. So Granada is now shipping and being received by folks. So thanks to everybody that's either ordered direct or done the Kickstarter, or you're ordering through a third party. Just thanks for your support in general for Granada. We're hearing some great things. We'll talk to Mo about that some more, about Granada. He's heard some comments as well. So I'll talk to Mo about that. Also, let's focus on our schedule moving forward. So we have October starting up here, starting tomorrow. And during this month, we're going to have Kharkov Battles will be the release for the month of October. So I also want to welcome Brittany to the show. Brittany was our lucky winner during the town hall last week. Brittany won Kharkov Battles out of, I think she beat out 165 other people who had done the drawing. We had a big turnout, and Brittany was the big winner. So congratulations, Brittany, on Kharkov Battles. I hope you got the game already. If you did, let us know in your comments. Hope you did receive it. I believe you did. May have mentioned that on the Facebook enthusiast group page. So after Kharkov Battles, we've got Russian Campaign 74 edition. That's going to be coming out next. So I should have said this earlier. Kharkov Battle, some have actually started receiving the game. It's shipping a little bit early. So if you haven't received yours yet, you should be getting it quite soon. But otherwise, did want to mention Russian Campaign is going to be out in November. And then December, we have 2 releases. We don't typically count Paper Wars as like a box game release. So we've got what's called the Assault on Tobruk game by Simulations Canada. It's a new, updated, refreshed edition of that game for those that own the original Simulation Canada design by Stefan Newberg. We've updated it with new graphics, updated the rules with errata, and that's going to be part of Paper Wars issue 99. And then we have Imperial Tide, The Great War by Gregory M. Smith. This time it's actually a 2-player game, but it does have a solitaire bot to it, so you can play it solitaire as well. So again, the schedule, as Bill mentioned during the last town hall, he wanted to take the schedule, just sort of slow down a little bit to close out the year. Also, he touched upon, everything with cargo deliveries being delayed, with that whole supply chain being delayed. It makes sense also just to make sure we sort of space things out a little bit. So again, I think we're gonna end the year strong with some really good releases between Kharkov Battles, Russian Campaign, Imperial Tide, and the Paper Wars, Assault on Tobruk, which we're calling Rommel Triumphant, as you can see from the cover. So that's our release schedule through end of the year. So just want to make everybody aware of that. Also, just to touch upon the newsletter for a second, we have not issued a newsletter this week yet. I'm actually just waiting for the next Kickstarter to kick in, which is very soon. So expect a newsletter probably early next week. But again, just as a reminder, we have that new release, Granada, that people have been receiving. The Kickstarter, want to thank everybody for the Kickstarter. It's over now on Russian Campaign. But what's really exciting is we use Kickstarter, just to be clear, we use Kickstarter to really help get the word out about games, because not everybody goes to the Compass website or follows what our new games are that are coming out. It's just a really nice way for us to reach a wider audience that might not be on our website doing pre-orders. So we had 215 backers, which is really a great showing for Russian Campaign. So we're excited that many people are going to be getting the game, in addition to those who have pre-ordered the game as well. So really happy about that. Of course, we talked about the pre-orders, which we added because you'll see them on the catalog. Once you receive the catalog, you'll see these 4 games added to the catalog. That's why we want to get those pre-orders out a bit early in time for the catalog. As a reminder, we do have the subscriptions now available. Everybody with a current Paper Wars subscription, you're automatically covered through issue 100. Once you receive issue 100, your current subscription will end automatically. So you would have to actually come in to renew for issues 101 through 104. You can do those subscriptions now. I will have the individual magazine order option available next week. I'm still working on that, so expect next week you can order individual issues if you'd like to do that for the 101 through 104 series. Low stock alerts. This is something important. I'll actually discuss that a little bit with Mo here in a moment, but we'll cover that in a moment. Again, Kharkov Battles is shipping this month, October, coming up. And as always, we want to thank the Compass Games Enthusiast Group. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Compass Games Enthusiast Group here in a moment, because something's come out of that, which I think is a pretty cool thing that's happened. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And let's bring Mo in now, because I've got here the Learn to Play Stellar Horizons. How you doing, Mo?
Doing good, John. How are you?
Good evening. So what I thought we could start with is, yes, this Learn to Play on Stellar Horizons by Brett Didrick's already happened. So I thought I'd call out really quickly, and I'll share this again, is you've now got on YouTube, which I'm showing here sort of a minute or two in, you've got the recording you've got the recorded session now available on YouTube. So maybe you can tell us, how the session went on the 22nd, how the overall response was, and yeah, just to let everybody know it's now available for viewing.
Yeah, it went good. We got it down to 58 minutes. Try to edit everything down like you usually do to make it, really easy to view. Those who were in the Learn to Play session can actually ask, questions right then and there. But this is going to be without questions and answers. I mean, you'll hear him ask, "Is there any questions?" But we didn't include those in there. We just let it be straight teach, and he did a great job on it. And I think everyone who has not seen it definitely want to go check it out if you've been interested in learning Stellar Horizons.
Great, great. And then one thing I did want to also mention is the low stock notice we have. So that was back on the newsletter. I'll show it right here. So let me just share the screen again. So we announced 3 weeks ago, I believe it was, during a town hall that we were going low inventory on several items. There's one or two more we're going to be adding, which were mentioned. I think Balance of Power, there was another one. But this is the original list we issued. And actually 2 have sold out already. I think, did you end up purchasing any from the low inventory alert? Because we're not reprinting. Compass isn't reprinting any of these. So I was curious if there were any in here that you went for yourself.
Yeah, I had gotten Fall Blau before it went completely out of stock, and then I got the War and the War Europe and Europe expansion, as well as War in the Wind. So I covered those ones. I missed out on the Red Star White Eagle. That's out of print now. So I think that's out of stock now, correct?
Yeah, that one's that's one of the 2 that's out of stock. So the 2 that are officially out of stock out of this list of 10 is the aforementioned Red Star White Eagle and the expansion kit for the War Europe. So the War Europe is still available, but very limited, because the restock we did was really just to cover the new orders for the War Pacific, that new release, because people might not have the War Europe at the time. So that's why why Bill did a limited restock. But that one's dwindling at this time. And I think what's going to happen is once the catalog hits, when people actually receive the printed catalog, as I think Bill mentioned, we're probably going to see a final run on these last 8 remaining games, plus I have to add Balance of Power and one other one that was mentioned last week during the town hall. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but we'll be updating this page. We'll add the 2 additional titles, but I think once the catalog hits, we'll remind people during the town hall next week with Bill that now's the time to order, because once the catalog hits, that's going to be bye time for these titles for good. So
a lot of people are going to be filling up their shopping carts with all the titles they want.
Yeah, I was actually debating. So I have the War Europe. Got it, the original print run, and I'll be getting the War Pacific later. I always wait until Compass Expo. I'll get it then. But I was sort of debating internally. I'm like, okay, but the War Europe, the restock, since the counter supplier changed and we had to restock on counters, this is now the thicker counters in the War Europe. So I'm so what do I do? Do I want to get the War Europe again just to get the counters because it will match the Pacific thickness? So I haven't pulled the trigger yet, because I figure, I've got the copy of the game already. So I should be nice to others. I should give everybody else a chance to get the War Europe now with the thicker counters. But I'm probably going to be hitting myself later, because I think I'm going to probably not get it in favor of customers getting it, but it would have matched up. Would have been nice to maybe match up the counters with the thicker counters. I guess the only exception is the expansion kit, obviously, was just, that one run.
Standard,
so that's the standard. That would be the standard. So that's my argument. I'm going to say I've got the expansion, I've got the original Europe, so those counters match. So I'll find a way to cry my.
How often are you going to merge the 2 together for one game?
Yeah, that's a good. Well, I don't know, because that's what Ernie Copley, the designer, is doing at Compass Expo. He's doing global, so I'm going to get there. And I'm like, oh, that looks so cool setup. I want to do that one day. Oh, but only if the counters were, I don't know. I'm being silly on that one. I don't know.
No, that's not a bad idea. We could also do it at CSW Dallas. By then I'll have the War, the Pacific as well. So we could always do a global there at the con locally.
I like what Bill said on YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us, Bill. Yeah, you're right. It'd be much easier to sort the counters. I'll know exactly which are for Europe, which are for the Pacific. I don't have to worry at all, because the counter thickness is going to give it away.
Yep.
So that's very true. Very true. So thanks. I feel better already, Bill. Thanks for saying that. So what I want to do with folks is I want to just get them up to speed. I think we shared, at least in the last week, I don't know if we did before that, you've been helping spearhead a lot of things for Compass, the Learn to Play series. So before we jump into the next topic, let's jump back to Learn to Play for a moment, because I want to cover what you might have in store for the month of October. If you can share, I don't think anything's final yet, but maybe you can let everybody know what you're thinking for October at this point that you can share.
Sure. Well, I've got 3 learn to plays already lined up. Just haven't solidified the dates yet because remember, John was going to do the Conquistadors last month, and then he had an emergency come up and he was unable to do it. I'm just waiting to hear back from him as to when he'd like to reschedule it. And if he doesn't, if he can't do it anytime soon, then we're going to go ahead with either Napoleon's Eagles, or we'll get Adam to come in and teach Doomsday Episode 1, The Battle for Germany. That's the other big one that we're looking forward to getting done pretty soon.
Awesome. And then Fango says it's learn to play is really learn to possum is what it's all it's all about.
Fitting.
Yeah. Mark, thanks for joining us. You're not late at all. We started an hour later tonight. So Andrew says, I don't know if people realize what that means from a production. So let's be honest here. How many minutes or hours did it take you to edit down the Stellar Horizons Learn to Play? Because I know you've spent many hours on like NATO when you did your NATO series. So do you want to share a little bit how much work it took for the production editing?
This one was a little faster than NATO. NATO was quite a while, but this one was probably about 9 hours so far. I would say
that's 9 hours is a full day.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of quick compared to some of the other projects I've worked on. So I'm getting a little better at it too. Each time I go, I have more assets that I've been accumulating and creating, so I'm able to put them in there. This one was a little different because there was different shapes. When it comes to hexes, you want to highlight the hex. You got to create a hex object and put it in there. So that takes a little bit of time too.
I won't get into this, but Tony makes a funny comment. He thought Bill was going to flip over the table last week. So I'm not going to give away, you guys can watch the recording. Of course, we've got Compass Games on YouTube. We've got our own channel like everybody else. So I'm not going to say anything about last week. Tony is in the know though. Tony Mammal knows what happened. He was watching. So we'll leave it at that. Daniel's sort of giving a tease about what it's about, but we're not going to go beyond that. So we're going to leave it alone. You got your following here, Mo, by the way. So you got everybody saying hi to you here. So it's always a pleasure to have you joining us because they know how much hard work you do. So let's do this. Let's talk. Let's change topics just for a moment because what I want to do is I want to talk about your effort and also helping spearhead Vassal. So could you give everybody just sort of a background on how you got involved with Compass on Vassal module development?
Sure. There's always been talk about getting more Vassal modules done. That's one of the things that I've heard a lot of people say that they want to see more from Compass. So the only way to really get that going was to, have a team. So went ahead and started building a team. Now we're up to 6 developers and we're looking for more, obviously. So if you guys are interested in Vassal module development, reach out to me and we can get that set up because we want to try to get a good team going where we're just, churning out module after module. We're going to be going back and getting some of the older modules that have not been done yet, as well as current ones and the ones coming up. So we got a lot in development right now and a lot scheduled.
So I thought I'd share with everybody just to get an idea, and apologies to everybody. I know it's sort of an eye chart, but it's not too important for you to see this one anyway. So this is literally with Mo's help. He provided a list of every game that we have that's been released or is now out of stock and whether it has a module or not. So yes or no, which is really helpful to know if we have it or not. And then of course we have statuses of, okay, what's a high priority that we have to get done that we haven't done yet? Have we assigned a Vassal author yet to do the work, et cetera, et cetera. So this is the full, it's well over 100 titles. Obviously it's probably like 200 titles. But what is important for everybody to see is really the in progress tab. I actually showed this and I'll zoom in here because this is important, I think, because we've made quite a bit of progress in terms of the great response we've received. So we had a call to action in the Compass newsletter as well as during these live shows that if you're a module creator, we'd love to talk to you at Compass to help us out. So I think last week I literally showed for in progress, we had maybe 4 or 5 titles. And now I have to scroll. So literally all these are, for example, Cradle of Civilization's approved for release. We're just waiting for Vassal to get their part done where they make it available for download. And then that status will change from approved to released, available. And then we've got 4 in development already, which means the module creator has the artwork already. So we're tracking that. We've got files requested for 2 other games right now. And what we, just so everybody knows, what we did here is we can request files for another 8 games. As you can see here, needs art. There's a big section here says we need art for all these. But we don't want to do an overrun result on the person who's helping us gather the printer files at Compass. So that's Julian, and Julian Thomas helps us with this. So he's also a big player in this to help everybody out. But I don't want to give him, hey, Julian, we need 10 games, all the printer files for 10 games. Thanks. Because he might hate us really quickly, and I don't want to burn him out. So we've just, he's already sent us 2 sets of games, all the files, and then we're going to sort of over the next week or 2 ask, get all these other 8 taken care of. And then I want to give a shout out to the authors. So we've got Kevin Conway, Nigel Rabbits, Lee Smith, Kevin Kavanaugh, Joel Toppin, Greg Amos, Lance Gamble. I'm missing some names probably, but and you've been really helpful, Mo, in reaching out to everybody. So I guess I'll let you make your pitch for additional Vassal module folks if you want to make an official pitch or plea.
Help, please. No, that's a bad pitch. But no, seriously, if any of you guys are Vassal developers or even interested in Vassal development and want to be part of the team and getting these modules done, reach out to me on the Discord, or you can email John. And that way, he'll get you in touch with me. And that way we can add you to the team and get you into the Vassal Guild and start working on getting things going. As you see, we've already got some, things in motion, and we're also still kind of developing the process as we go. So it's going to be one of those things where we've got a process in place, but like anything else, you learn as you go and you make mistakes and you correct them and make things go smooth and get these things done and get them out so everybody can be playing.
Yeah, and the reason I want to show this for everybody, and obviously there's other categories we have of like what still doesn't have a module, what the priority is. We're trying to really be intentional to understand what people want to see. Of course, we do modules for playtest as well. So we haven't got to the point yet of tracking all the pre-orders where there's playtest modules also being created, which is how we can do playtesting. So it's a very big effort up front. This is, we're still putting many hours into this. This report is by no means done yet. But we just want to let everybody know we're trying to be very intentional here. And thanks to Mo's support, as Tony says, is Mo on retainer yet? Yeah. So basically, what's really cool though is, anybody can really help Compass. I mean, you guys already help us with your support and being on here tonight, and word of mouth is so important. There's nothing Bill or I could ever say that would ever convince anybody to buy a Compass game. Why would you believe us, right? I'm working for Compass or whatever, but it's what you guys say and what you say about Compass and what you can actually do for us, like Mo's doing. Or as a content contributor like YouTube. Mo does these YouTube channels. We have 6, 7, 8 others on right now tonight joining us who do their own YouTube channels like Ardwolf's Lair and others that do a fantastic job. And that's supporting the hobby in general, by the way. It's not just a win for Compass. It's really a win for the whole hobby. Hopefully other games from other publishers are getting snapped up as well as people get educated. But yeah, through this report, we just want to share with everybody, we're trying very hard because there are a lot of games we have to track.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a little crazy right now because we have to catch up with everything and find out who's a Vassal author that would like to work with us. Or basically, you can share with them what do they get. So if I'm a Vassal person, I've done some Vassal modules, but never for Compass, and I say, hey, I'm interested. What can I get? What can I get for my effort? What would your answer be? Just to let everybody know how this works.
Oh, as far as for compensation?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, number one, you get to help out the community, which is, I think, why a lot of us do the stuff we do. We want to help out the community and help foster that fellowship and the love of war games and everything. That is really, it sounds cheesy, but it's very true. That's why we do a lot of stuff what we do. And then as far as real true compensation, you're going to get a free game out of it. So if you build a game, you get a game. So that right there is a good thing to do, but you're also helping out your fellow war gamers. So I think it's a great deal all the way around.
And then John C., as he mentions, there's other solutions out there. And I think the one that gets named the most often after Vassal is Tabletop Simulator, which I think works particularly well for maybe non-hex-based games. I think there's more people gravitate to it more for those types of almost quasi-Euro style games, but like Brotherhood Unity's on Tabletop Simulator looks great. But
yeah, some old SPI games on there. Maybe even have Operation Typhoon.
I've seen Napoleon. Yeah, my favorite game. I've seen Napoleon, it's the old Napoleon, original Napoleon from SPI. Yeah, there's a bunch of games on there. But for now, just to be honest with everybody, for now, we can only bite off so much at this point, and Vassal is really sort of the gorilla in the room. It's the one people most gravitate to. Vassal has the most support, has the most game modules for war games.
Sure.
So that's why we're focused 100% right now on Vassal. We could easily look into Tabletop Simulator later, or at least know what's out there. We do need to know what's out there. There's quite a few out there. So at some point we will start tracking that. But for now, we're just soliciting Vassal. I'm a proponent of Sun Tzu. I love Sun Tzu, and I just learned the development is active again, that it's actively supported by developers again. So that's one maybe down the road. I'd like to see games on Sun Tzu, because I'm old school and I just want the simple interface. But I know Vassal, I know Vassal kicks Sun Tzu's butt, because you can add all these markers to it and statuses, and does a lot more. Logging everything. It's like it's the gorilla in the room, right? It has all these features. Where Sun Tzu is very like a minimalist approach, which is what I like. Sort of like if I was playing and moving pieces on a board. But Sun Tzu's alive and well again, apparently.
Well, the other thing,
so that's gonna be interesting to see what happens there. Let's see here. But I'm just checking comments here. Will there be a war Vassal module? Well, it's funny you asked that question, because we're tracking that now.
Yeah, the war Europe, the war Pacific. There are plans for those both.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've got notes, for example. So when we have the War Europe module, does that include the expansion kit? Because what should happen is the War Europe module we should work with that author to get the expansion kit into it. So we are making notes whenever there's something that has an expansion to it. Another example would be Russia Besieged, has an expansion booklet already available, and then the Finnish front is on pre-order. So that's an example where you wouldn't see a separate module. You shouldn't have to see a separate module for that, because you're expanding upon the original game, and it should be the same for the Vassal module. So Mark, we are on top of this. So basically everything gets a priority with us. Right now, the priority, what would you say the priority is, Mo? It's what's longest overdue that's already been released, followed by hot pre-orders.
Yeah, we're doing that kind of, right now, as far as like Decision of Kasserine, Korean War. Those are a couple that are high priority. To give an example of a couple, the War Europe, there is a module for it already. The War of the Pacific has been assigned, so that's going to get worked on. And then as far as the expansion, that has not been assigned yet, but we'll be adding that one in as well. And that's a great point about Vassal being a free. And right now, with the current situation worldwide, everyone's using, not everyone, but a lot of people are using Vassal. So it's a great time to really start putting more pressure on building out these Vassal modules.
Right. And then I do know Mark, who's joining us, who's one of the top admins for the Compass Games Enthusiast group on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, Mark, again tonight. I have seen, because I'm not very good at Vassal, so I'll be honest, I'm not heavy in the Vassal, so the features overwhelm me, and I have stupid problems, like I'm trying to move something from a chart display to the map, and a line draws out. I'm like, why is a line drawing out? Stupid user problems, which is it's my own user error. It's my own fault. But yeah, there's some really good videos I've seen about getting started with Vassal. So what I imagine we can do is we could probably package up like the top videos that are out there for Vassal. They're already done, so we don't have to recreate the wheel. I think.
To Mark's question there, I don't know if you did hear what I said before, but there is a reason why it's not called a Vassal team. It's called the Vassal Guild, because the idea is those who know how to develop will be in it and will be doing stuff. Those who want to learn how to develop can come in and can learn. And as well as, as you are building out modules, you'll have other people to lean on. So it's to try to foster development amongst all of us, as well as, getting guys and gals that can develop some Vassal modules.
Exactly. And yes, like I said, we don't, Bill doesn't have what we call bottomless budgeting for projects. And the what's nice is, the spirit of gamers that want to help Compass and other publishers for certain types of roles, like proofing, or, outside proofers will do it just to have the chance to help make the game better for them without asking for anything in return. But yeah, for the Vassal module, basically you'll get the game for doing the Vassal work, or if you have the game already for some reason, say it's a already published game and you've got the game on your desk or on your bookshelf, you can get something of the same value. So obviously it's not a situation where you're going to get back and pay the hours you put into the work. That will never happen. So we're just being upfront about that, yeah, it's like volunteer work basically, but you'll at least get the game for it, etc. So a lot of great comments, by the way. So for those, I think we have more people on YouTube tonight than Facebook. So what's a little funny about our system here is if you're on YouTube, everybody's seeing the live chat on YouTube, but you can't see the Facebook comments, and then vice versa. So I have sort of a view off to the side of all these great comments. I just wish everybody could see all the comments coming in right now from both streams, because they're quite interesting, but you'll only be aware of them if I actually show them, if I actually show them here on the screen is how it has to work, unfortunately. So, but a lot of great comments on that. Obviously in the recorded session, you'll see what we showed here, but I think it's a great start, Mo. So I just want to thank you. And again, anybody who, anybody who would like to support Compass, you've done it already in many ways, like anybody doing rules proofing, interested in rules proofing. I'll show you some examples of some projects. I'm going to give you some snapshot reports on various games and various stages tonight, just for fun, since we don't have an interview tonight. This doesn't count as an interview, Mo, right? I think you're just a normal, you're just hanging out, a special guest to allow everybody not to suffer me.
In the Applebee's lounge with the possum, yeah. So
speaking of Applebee's lounge, I want people to pay attention to the Applebee's lounge here. That okay, so Mo, we've got to focus on Mo here for a second, because Mo's gone to the trouble. So this Applebee's thing is really starting to take off. I think it's fair to say, right, Mo?
Oh yeah.
I think this Applebee thing is gaining traction, much like our Vassal module tracker is starting to gain traction here. So what I want to share with people really quickly here, just for a moment, is Applebee's has been in the news recently. So for example, there's a show called Goliath on Amazon Prime. So if everybody knows Billy Bob Thornton, the actor. So here's a scene from, I think it's episode 6 of season 4. I was watching it this past weekend, and I just sort of busted over laughing on the couch watching this when I saw this Applebee's, which reminded me of Mo's background in the background, right? So so got a big kick out of that. And of course they did one better. I think the producers at Goliath, at the Goliath show, saw what Mo did, so they did one better here. So they did the full-on sign. So here's the full-on sign of Applebee's with Goliath, the lawyer at Goliath with his dad. So and as Bill says, yes, absolutely a great series. And actually, I've been on this series for a long time. So this is season 4 that just got released. I got the email a week or two ago. So I binge watched it in one day and just busted my chops seeing Applebee's and episode 6. But you turned me on to this other, it's been out for 6-7 years now. Bosch. Yeah. Bosch. So this Bosch thing is crazy. So I've been enjoying that. I'm on season 2 now, but I've been having a great time. That was fast. Bosch. When I find something good, I binge watch, and a detective mystery, anything detective, I eat it up. So I want to share with everybody that Andrew Rowland out of Australia, down under, he's done his own version here. So so this is our contest. So we have an official contest now. So this is the Applebee's Lounge. And you'll notice something very different about this Applebee's Lounge. It is chock full of Compass games and other special things taking place. If I zoom, I don't know if I could zoom in here a little bit, maybe even I could try. But there are other things going on in this shot. So what we decided to do is we want to have some fun. So this image is now available as an official Compass contest. So this contest is available. We've got this simple Google form. You can enter this contest for the Applebee's Lounge. We've got the image here, and then you can click the link. Let me make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see this a little bit better. So to view the full image, you can just click on that and download it. And what we're doing is we're doing a simple contest. If you can guess how many Compass games you can find in the photo, including Paper Wars magazine games. And then there's a bonus question. How many animals can you find in the picture? So we've got that going. We've got this going right now. I was going to announce the winner tonight, but to be honest, a few people got back to me. And I think like Bosch, they're very thorough in their investigation work, and they want more time to submit their answers to this contest that's going on right now. So we're going to wait till next week. So and I think it's appropriate since Bill and Billy are featured at the Applebee's
Yep.
Lounge here, that we need to do it with Bill and Billy together. So we're going to announce the winner next week during our town hall. So there's another week, so everybody has time to enter the contest. Again, if you have any trouble finding where the contest is, we'll have it in our newsletter when the newsletter goes out. I know it's already on Facebook. Compass Games Enthusiast Group is a big sponsor of this contest as well. So thanks to them. You can email me at john@compassgames.com and I'll send you this link, but we'll make sure that's made available to you. It's also mentioned in the YouTube, on the YouTube page. You can get a link to this contest entry form. So next week we will find out who wins this big Applebee's contest. And what we're going to do in the future, we're going to take this same photo, and what we're going to do then is we're going to probably ask some more advanced questions. You know, something along the lines of what designer is featured the most of all these games you see. You know, which designer scored the most titles here, or which was the oldest release game, or which one was the best seller out of this group, or you name it. We'll come up with some really esoteric crap. we're gonna Applebee's this contest to the end, as they say. So thanks to Andrew Rowland again for he spent many hours, by the way, putting this image together. So again, just shout out to Andrew for this great image at Applebee's. Maybe we'll see an Applebee's like this one day in person. Who knows?
That would
a
be
Compass
cool.
Expo or something. Although I don't think we'll be doing a live show at the time. you got you in there too, Mo, probably. So for the live show, but definitely looking forward to see who the contest winner is next week. It's definitely a Where's Waldo, as Darren says. It's definitely Where's Waldo. So definitely, I encourage you to please enter the contest if you would be so kind. It's just for fun. I don't know how the Applebee's thing even started, to be honest. It's been over a year.
I don't recall the exact thing, but it's just we've been running with it ever since. So
yeah,
it'll have different iterations over the years as to how it started, who started it, or whatever. But Daniel has a good one. He says, keeping with the Applebee's themes, all games $5.99. I don't think Bill will like that too much.
Yeah, let's talk to Bill about that next week. Maybe that could be the question.
So he's in the chat answering chat questions. So
who is
Bill?
Bill's here.
Yeah. So I don't think he'd like the $5.99.
Oh, there he is. There's Bill. Yeah, that's hilarious. And while I've got Bill on here, I may have made a mistake earlier. I think I didn't see a picture of Kharkov Battles that's been released. I think it was Fall Blau. Or maybe the contest. Maybe Brittany did show Kharkov Battles because she won it. So I'm a little confused on the whole Kharkov Battles. If anybody's really received it yet.
Fall Blau. She got
Fall Blau. That's where I got confused. So she was showing off the last Fall Blau that was available that Bill congratulated her on last week. Yes. So apologies to everybody. Just to be clear, so let's start over. Kharkov Battles is not released yet. Bill, who's here, loves to surprise everybody, including me, and sometimes the games ship ahead of schedule, but he's not that ahead of schedule. So we are not in October yet, and Kharkov Battles is not released yet. But I do want to answer one bonus question on Kharkov Battles, because I've been asked the question several times, and it's worth repeating. Kharkov Battles is a standalone game. In fact, there's 3 scenarios you can choose from Kharkov Battles. That is standalone. If you happen to be like Brittany, and you happen to be the last proud owner of Fall Blau, or you get one through the resale market, there are 2 additional scenarios that Kharkov Battles has that will extend Fall Blau further. So Brittany, I have to have Brittany on. We're going to have her on as a guest. She can talk about the whole Kharkov Battles Fall Blau once she has Kharkov Battles. She doesn't have it yet. So, and then Mark's right. Yes, we're watching the dollar right now. It could be 599 in the next month or two. When we hit episode 76, we're at 66. We'll see. I don't know about that 599 Applebee's price anymore.
Brittany's saying she felt like I didn't feel guilty enough. Why do you feel guilty? You get the last one. You should be saying, I got the last one, suckers. You guys snooze, you lose. No,
that's the way we are, Brittany. We just poke fun at everybody. So you're basically the smartest person in the room here. You've shown the best war game acumen of everybody because you actually purchased the last one, and that has bragging rights. So you need to take it and run that to the bank. So hats off to you, Brittany. And then she won Kharkov. Didn't she win Kharkov Battles, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. So unless I lost track, but I'm pretty sure she did. So anyway,
she did.
Didn't she? I thought she did last week. Unless I'm completely wrong.
I think she let us know.
I think she did win it. Yeah, Bill can confirm that, but I believe she won it. So Mo, this is where I get to, unfortunately for everybody else, if anybody has any final questions for Mo, I'm going to let him go here early. So if you want to say goodbye to Mo, or if you want to ask Mo a burning question, to give you time, because I know there's a delay, just a reminder from any Consum World site, we have different services, Consum World Forum, News Desk, we have the new community. You're going to find a videos link in the top header of any of our sites. And I want to call out that video because a lot of the content contributors, that's where all their videos show up. So if you want a one-stop shop for what videos have been released in the last 24, 48 hours, if you click that link, it takes you right here. So this is going to show you in order of, and this is updated like almost to the second. So when something hits on YouTube, it shows up on here. So, matter of fact, we got Ardwolf in here. We've got Mo. We've got you in here with your Learn to Play in the second row here with Brett Dietrich. So, as you can see, we've got all the top content contributors. I do owe adding one more person who contacted me through this show who does have a YouTube channel. I've been remiss. I do need to add his channel. But again, we've got 20. I think we've got 27 or 28 content contributors now for War Games that are available through Consum World. Just hit the videos link and it will take you to the latest. Now, this doesn't do search or anything fancy like that. It's not meant to be like a full YouTube studio of all videos ever done. It's just up to the second, what has been done up to the second. And yes, if you scroll down, there is a little down arrow, so you can add more videos, as you can see here that I'm doing. So just scroll down and add more. But for Consum World, we plan to add a dedicated video site that will incorporate all videos that have been done historically with some really good filter search engine behind it. But for now, this just should help people out. You can find all of Mo's videos here. You might get tricked sometimes because also when there's a live session scheduled, the live session will show up right away. And when you click on it, nothing happens because it hasn't been broadcast yet. But as soon as that broadcast hits YouTube, it's going to show up in here. So at times it might not play right away for you. That's only because it's a premiere that hasn't been shown yet. But I definitely just want to give, well, that was my way to stall to see if there's any questions for you.
Well, I mean, if anybody has anything up there that is scheduled for a later time and you notice that, just read and you'll be able to see when it's going to be. Just click on the set reminder so that way it prompts you when that person goes live with their video, because sometimes people do live plays at night or live show or whatever to premiere video. Put that set reminder just like you do for the Compass shows. Have that set reminder so you're reminded when it's coming up live.
Let's see. So Vince is asking, can we do 2 for 20? Sort of split the difference for Applebee's, and Bill is running interdiction. So if anybody is not familiar with interdiction rules in War Games, this is Bill running interdiction on Vince's question. So that is interdiction by default, just to be clear on what the rule of interdiction is. I don't think it needs further explanation. So yeah, Mo, what years were you USMC? He was 90, 85, maybe 85?
He was after me, 95 to 93. That's a Marine counting backwards right there, let me tell you.
Oh, okay. I was like thinking, did he mean 85 to 93? Or is this, okay, that's a Marine thing, maybe.
Yeah, it's got to be, that's Marine math if I ever did hear one, if I ever did see one there, Justin. But hoorah, brother, I was 85 to 89. So that was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
And my mind's been drifting with everything going on. So I think Gregory is correct. I think Granada was the winner for last week. That makes sense.
Correct. Yes.
That was so you were right, Greg. So thanks for correcting me on that one. Absolutely. Keeping me honest. Okay. So Daniel wants to put together a module for the late unpleasantness at some point. Gosh, that's the one thing we haven't done yet. I haven't done a good job. Well, it's in the newsletter. I need to let people know to reach out to you by email or myself. So basically, you can send an email to me. My email's the easiest to remember. It's john@compassgames.com. So maybe go with that, Daniel, and then I'll
find me and grab me in the Discord or come in after the show tonight. We'll be in the Applebee's lounge, which I'm already in right now. But
yes, you're already there waiting for the after show. So you're
exactly. We'll all do a live chat, and just like we are here, just have a chat. And you guys have any questions, come in there and we'll talk.
Oh, great. And then Jay was 79.84. So that would be 84 through 79.
Nice. Exactly.
87.83. I'm reading backwards now.
Yeah.
Jay,
nice.
Okay, Jay, do you need the interdiction rule again? Do I need to cover this interdiction rule again? Okay, here's the interdiction rule again in case you missed it the first time. No. Okay. I think we've got that covered.
I think
All right, Mo, we're going to let you know.
He might go nuclear. Go to nuclear option or chemicals.
Bill might go nuclear. That table might get turned over by Bill. We'll see what happens. Let's tune in next Thursday, to find out if Bill turns over the table. That will be. We have to hit the 200 mark for our next town hall. That could do it. So thanks everybody. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for your service, by the way. So more people sharing their service. So very cool. Thanks for doing that. Much appreciated. Mo, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you again for the Learn to Plays, spearheading the Vassal work, working with the developers and everything, helping bring more goodness to the computers for those that own our games, et cetera, et cetera. So thanks for doing that all. And I'm sure we will be in touch.
Sounds good.
So say goodbye, everybody, to Mo.
Not everybody.
Bye, Mo. See you tonight at the after party at Applebee's Lounge. Bye-bye. All right. That was great to have Mo there for a second. I hope you all enjoyed that little interaction about, what's happened with Vassal. Really a lot of hard work on that. So what I thought I'd do is, what I'd like to do, actually, not having a live guest tonight, is let's go through, spend a little time, give you a quick snapshot update on several projects. And then we'll see at the end, what I'll do is I'll go through these, and then, because I can't do two things at once, I'll be happy to end with your questions at the end as well. So what I'd like to do is let's go ahead and start by doing a quick update. So I'm going to do sort of no particular order, just to cover various projects. So the first one I want to talk about is Schutztruppe. So Schutztruppe is basically now officially in the can. So I thought, since it's in the can, I'd share with you the printer files for the rule booklet. It's by the way, guys, this is not anything like the original Schutztruppe, by the way, by Jim Bumpus. So this is a brand new game in memory of Dennis Bishop, who sadly has left us. So it's I don't know if this will be the last Dennis Bishop design, but it could be. But we're of course excited to be able to bring this box game to market. So just want to share with you, it's more involved than the original Jim Bumpus Schutztruppe. It's not the same game. It's not taking that game and just updating it here or there. It's a totally separate game, but it is on the same topic. But I'm going to go to the end here. It's only about 13 pages of rules. So if I go, here's page, design notes start on page 14, and this is 2-column large text. If you look at this text, you're probably thinking, well, that's pretty large text. It's only 2 columns, and that text, there's only a few paragraphs on each column there. So again, I just want to share with you, again, just a quick flyby. I want to thank you for your patience on Schutztruppe. This will have a mounted map. So I'm going to also ask you to please indulge us at Compass with your patience again, because obviously shipments from overseas will take longer, as they are taking worldwide for all companies looking for product from overseas, but this will be going to the printers shortly. But again, rules are pretty straightforward for Schutztruppe. And again, we're just happy as heck that we could get this Dennis Bishop game out. I want to thank Jack Staleka, who's online here, who was a big who helped us a lot with proofing and playtesting during the development phase, and we had others involved as well. So Bob Cloyd, I want to thank him as well. So just want to share just for a moment with you that yes, Schutztruppe is basically in the can. There's going to be other projects which I won't give you updates on, visual updates tonight, just because they're going to the printers. And that would be games such as American Tank Ace, Third World War series. All those basically are gone. So the next time we see anything on American Tank Ace or Third World War series is when we're really close to release of that product, where we're going to go more in depth with the project team and really spend an hour or an hour segment on that game as it's about ready to release. So that's a little bit on Schutztruppe. So let's change gears. I also want to talk a little bit about just a little tidbit, as I said. I'm going to do little tidbits of sorts. So this is one of the final maps for East Front Operational Battles Quad. And I just want to share this one as well for you, just to give you an idea. So it's covering battles in 42-43. And I just want to give you a flavor for the final map by Bruce Urian. So again, just sort of a quick look through. Again, this one's covering 42, the Second Battle of Kharkov. Again, it's a quad game. There's also a way you can extend. There's one, call it a folio, and then there's another folio that can actually be matched together to do one bigger folio game with 2 maps. So you'll see more information on the product page, but I was really pleased and really happy to share with you the final map art for one of the maps. I thought I'd show you one of the maps here just to give you a flavor of the quality of the map, of what to expect. And again, the game's not going to be overly complex. It's using a base set of rules for the game, and by John Thiessen, the designer. And we're really excited to get this Eastern Front World War II game out. So you'll see other maps have the same type of terrain, same type of information, but I think you're going to be really happy with it. So that's a little bit about East Front Operational Battles Quad. Just a quick flyby on that. Next, we have a game we haven't talked about at all yet. This is a full-size 22 by 34 map, which is used as a status display. So let me explain what you're seeing here, since this is completely brand new. So at Compass, we're really excited when we get chances to work with designers we haven't worked with before, or maybe even a first-time designer. We get really excited. We're really big proponents. We love all the people we work with, obviously, but it's so wonderful for us when we can work with new designers. So example would be, for example, the upcoming Operation Storm 333, which will be now going to artwork shortly, and Mike Wilner's Prelude to Revolution on the Russian Civil War. So we're always love working with designers for the first time. So to explain this, there's actually two things going on the same theme. I want to mention first of all, Gregory M. Smith, who everybody knows so well. He is doing a separate game called Stuka Ace. Now, Stuka Ace is going to be going to artwork later, and that's going to be a separate solitaire game, and that's where, much like Greg's narrative-driven solitaire games, you play the role of the pilot and have your career. And that's the focus of Greg's games, which are so wonderful. This is a new designer for us, Joe Fernandez, and he's doing a game called Storm of Steel Stuka 87. And what's different about this, because the first question might be, wait a second, Stuka Ace and Storm of Steel Junkers 87, why two games that seem so similar? Well, this one is different. This one's quite different, which you can probably see from the display already. This is not just where you're a single pilot with your career. This is, and I'm losing what the German term is here, whatever the term is for a squadron. Somebody can write the comment in for the German word. I didn't have time to look it up again from the rules, but basically you're in charge of a squadron. And again, I apologize. I should use the German word for squadron. Flieggruppe. Maybe it's Flieggruppe. I'm not sure. That's my bastardized German. But basically, it's a different role you're playing. You've got more than one airplane, and you've got multiple crews you're working with. So this is Storm of Steel. This is a 22 by 34 inch map. There's a lot going on here because, again, there's a lot you're tracking, okay? Eastern Front, you can see you've got these various displays for the various aircraft as well. So that's why you see a lot of similar duplicated information on this map, display map, because it's not just one plane, it's the Flieggruppe that you're managing here. So I just want to share that with you all because we're really excited about this. It has game cards as well in the top right corner. You can see there's event cards as well. So it's really going to be a quite different system. Both games are going to be great, of course. Everybody's so familiar with Greg's games already. I don't really need to comment about how Greg's games get received, but we're very excited as well about Joe's game and looking at it from a group perspective of the aircraft and the missions. Also, we have counters I'll share with you. So here's some of the counters for Storm of Steel. So I'll zoom in here a little bit. Now these counters are by Bruce Irian. And Bruce, you've seen some of Bruce's work, for example, with Gregory Smith games, and Bruce actually did the map that I just showed for Eastern Front Battles Quad. So yes, to answer your question, yes, Bruce is retired. That's why we're able to get so much done with Bruce and why Bruce's name comes up so much, and he does great work. And we love working with Bruce. So here's some examples of the counters. I can zoom in a little bit more if you like, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. The counter sheets are not all done yet, but I can give you an idea of how they look here just by scrolling through here a little bit. As you can see, here's the backside. It's not too exciting, the backside. Here's individual pictures for, again, the crew on the left side. Again, this is not done yet. This is really, I'm not kidding you when I say this is a flyby snapshot report of work in progress. This is literally, these are all works in progress to the hour. Not to the day, but to the hour. I'm pulling the latest files as of an hour ago. So here we've got some great flavor for the individual crewmen and leaders, pilots. And again, this is coming, not even announced yet. Haven't had an interview to talk to Joe Fernandez with you all yet, so you can ask Joe questions about his design. But we're definitely getting there. Luftflotte, thank you, Jack. That, I believe, is what it is. Although Geschwader sounds familiar too. I've heard that word used in some languages. So I think we're seeing multiple terms here. But thanks for offering up those terms for me. It's obviously in the rules. I don't have time to look at the rules right now to give that to you. So that is a little bit about Storm of Steel. I'm just excited when I saw the display map. I'm like, oh, okay, sign me up for this. I'm ready to go on this one. So let's talk about, let's see, another game I want to talk about just briefly is Hitler's Last Gamble. So this is an amazing project to witness because I can literally not do anything for, say, days at a time and see hundreds of messages go through Basecamp, which is a service we use for the project, of all these messages post back and forth about change this, do this, let's do that. There's a very dedicated project team. Danny Parker is a researcher, a book author by trade, and he has a very meticulous group. So I just want to share with you some of the player aid cards that are being worked on right now by Ilya, who works with us on this project. So quite a few player aid cards. I'll go small for now just to give you a flavor. So here's sequence of play card. Here's the weather tables for the game. There might be a background image. We're just work in progress. So there might be a nice background added to some of these. We'll see, just to give you an idea. Let me go to a full page view. Next, we have the German fuel capture table, shortages tables, etc. So you can see those here as well. And we have two different tables for German fuel shortage because they're related. You have to do both. Replacement schedules are in here. And again, this is a work in progress. So you see the German side. We've got that information captured already. The air table is listed here with all the modifiers. You'll see what this is about here in a moment. I'm going to show you an example of what this is about. So the charts and tables are also going to help you learn to play the game by giving you some examples as part of the charts and tables as well. So I'll show you some examples of that in a moment. So here's some more train effects. Here's the train effects chart, which maybe it's time to go a little more detailed here to give you an idea of what we've got. So pretty straightforward stuff for all of you that are savvy with World War II. Fairly detailed systems. None of this is going to be a surprise for you. Yes, definitely ground conditions is a factor for the bulge. So, of course, we've got that covered here. Here are some of the notes as well that are covered in the train effects charts for y'all. Here's movement modification tables. There's a concept of strategic movement for those familiar with Hitler's Last Gamble. So you can see some base information about that. And there's something called movement combination tables as well. So again, very detailed, very precise in terms of movement rules for the game. This is what I want to show you. So as part of the charts and tables, so besides the rules having charts and tables, etc., besides the rules having examples of play, also on the backs of some of these charts and tables, you're going to have some examples. So here we have a numbered 1 through 8, a movement example to go with the train effects chart. And here you can see the notes that go with that. So just to look at this at normal size. So on the back of the train effects chart and the movement chart, you're going to see a very helpful movement example that's going to try to capture as much of a variety of those movement examples as possible. This is an example of what we try to do at Compass, especially with Designer Signature Edition. And again, Danny's been working actively every day with his team on this project with Ilya over the last 2 years. No joke. People sometimes ask, what's going on with Hitler's Last Gamble? It must have stalled. No, there's literally 20, 30 messages a day, every day, except for maybe weekends on this topic. This is an incredible amount of work going into Hitler's Last Gamble. And this would be an example of some of the improvements where we want to make the game more accessible, easier to learn, easier to play. We'll get into Learn to Play series, things like that later. But in the game itself, out of the box, you're going to get some really good examples. So that's why I want to share that with you. And again, there's going to be more movement examples coming as well. This is a placeholder for more examples. Here's zone of control effects chart. Let's zoom in here again. So here you have your notes, the chart legend showing you what the meaning is, whether there's a zone of control, yes or no, or if it's limited or not. So we've got that information captured here. But again, what I think is a really nice touch that we've added here, which I'll zoom in more, is right on the front side of this display, you've got more examples that are going to help you with learning how to interpret the zones of control rules based on certain conditions on the map, whether it's during the day or the night. And you'll see during the night, you could have more partial zones of control taking effect. There's even partial zones of control during the day as well, however. So again, these examples are really going to hold your hand to help out with the learning curve of the game, to help it really be more accessible than any previous edition of Hitler's Last Gamble. So again, really happy with how these are coming together. Of course, you got to have bridges in the game. So a lot of information about bridges, including the interdiction table, discovery table of bridges, all that's captured. Combat modification chart is worth some mention here because it's very specific in terms of how you approach combat in the system. So first of all, you have your sequence for combat to do the combat resolution. But notice the combat odds shifts, you apply them in the following order. So there is a specific order that you'll go through, like a flow chart for the various modifiers. Now, I know some of you are going to look at this and say, oh, this is an eye chart. Oh my gosh, that's okay. This is a simulation game. This is by design. This is by design by Danny Parker, who's written books on the bulge. This is his magnus opus on the topic of the bulge. This is meant for people wanting to scratch their itch on an extremely detailed bulge game by historian Danny S. Parker. So that's why you're going to see this level of detail at certain points in the game where Danny feels it's necessary to do that. So that is why you're going to see that. And just to round it out, again, here's more combat modification tables. So again, just wanting to give you an idea, lots of information. Again, maybe there'll be some background, artillery examples to help out with learning the game. That's going to be in there. Combat results table, AM and night PM turns. You have a different table based on the time of day of the engagements. Of course, we'll have combat examples, results examples for the game, commando elimination table, deception tables, again, all part of the game system. Montgomery's reaction table, that's going to be a variable in the game as well. And I like this one in particular. I think this is showing attention to detail, which is important for you to know. The attention, the amount of detail going into this game. So for a game marker, when it gets placed, when it might get removed, the meaning of the marker, what the rules are, so you can look up the rules as like a mini index of sorts. So for this game marker, what rules cover this game marker and the use of the game marker, that's that last column on the right. So again, for those that love attention to detail for a game, I think you're going to be very happy with Hitler's Last Gamble. It's definitely going to be worth the wait, and the amount of effort has really been ridiculous for this game, just to let you know. So we're really excited about what's going to be coming, what's in store for this game. So that's a little bit about Hitler's Last Gamble. Let's do another flyby of sorts, which is Beneath the Southern Cross. This is like flat top redone with, I'd say, somewhat of a more detailed, different approach system. That's been done by William Cooper, who's been working on this design for years. It's a 2-mapper. So if you know what Flat Top is all about, released originally by Battle Line and then by Avalon Hill, this is going to be a game that has that feel and flavor to it. So these are maps by a name that will sound very familiar to you, Bruce Urian. Bruce Urian is doing this project, so you can get an idea. I'll give you some detail here of the map. So let's zoom in quite a bit here. So here you can see it's covering the same area, lots of scenarios for this game, Beneath the Southern Cross. Some one-mappers, but mostly it's just a 2-mapper, full campaign, variations on the campaign. So lots of work has been done on the maps and counters already. This will, I'll do a zoom out again, just to give you again a flavor. There's the Solomon Sea there for you in the Solomon campaigns, but just to give you a bit of a flavor again. Oh, I went too far there. Probably scrolled a little bit too much, but here you can see a little bit more of the map, just to give you a little bit more flavor. So looks real familiar to the area covered in Flat Top, same area. And yeah, thanks, Mo. Bruce does very cool work for sure. Definitely does very cool work. So that are the two. So there's 2 maps to me Beneath the Southern Cross. This is a snap update. The game is not on pre-order yet. We have that rule that I definitely heartily agree with Bill Thomas is so important, especially for a game that's so big, as big as this game is, with all the detail and a lot of counter sheets as well, that we want to have the artwork as much done as possible before we go to pre-order. But we're getting closer because we have the ship counters now. So the ship counters is, again, a work in progress. I can zoom in here maybe a little bit to show you that level of detail. So there you go. So yes, I'm not going to go through all the factors. We're going to save that for William Cooper. We're going to have William Cooper on for an interview, designer interview, and we're going to need the full hour to cover it for sure. But again, just to give you a flavor. So these are double wide counters. So half inch by full inch counters. So your typical double wide naval units, right? For all the capital ships, carriers, etc. So that's what we're seeing here. So I'll zoom out a little bit. I'll scroll through here a little bit. Let me see if I can enable scrolling here. So let me enable, that's scrolling already. So let's go ahead and look through here already. So again, you can see these are obviously the individual Japanese ships for Beneath the Southern Cross with the various values. Yes, we've got, of course, you've got things to do around supply, etc., and ammunition in the game. So you've got all types of status markers, which will be not on the map. These are on different displays. These are on off-map displays that you'll see with the games. I'll have to show the off-map displays in a different episode. But again, here's some more of the counters. Again, double wide counters for all the naval units, as you can see here. More supply markers. And now we're getting into the American capital ships with the blue stripe. So again, lots and lots of counters. There's also a lot of half-inch counters and markers. I'm not bothering showing you those. I thought just for today, I would give you a first look at the maps, the two maps that are basically final, pretty much final. And again, this is an up to the second work in progress between William Cooper, the designer, and Bruce Zierian, and myself involved as well whenever there's anything we need to take care of. But this is going to be an awesome game. If you're a lot of fans of Flat Top, you're going to love Beneath the Southern Cross. If you're fans of Flat Top, and again, there's just all kinds of really cool displays going along with this game. We'll definitely have some good lead time when we do the interview with William Cooper, Bill Cooper, when we talk about the game system, how it plays, etc. It's going to be just a fantastic session to have for sure. So again, just want to share that with you. I think that covers pretty much, that pretty much covers what I want to show for tonight. So so we covered quite a few games. We covered, let's see. We covered Shoots Troopa first. That one's pretty much in the can. That one's wrapped up. Shoots Troopa. We took a sneak peek at one of the maps for East Front Battles Quad. So that one's got all the maps basically done, the counter sheets done, the charts and tables, the player aid cards are now just about done. That's been the latest progress that was being done was on all the player aid cards. And this is not a complex game. So it's just a few player aid cards. And if they're double-sided, I believe, in some cases, maybe 2 player aid cards, maybe 3 at the most. It's not going to be many player aid cards because the game system's not overly complex. And it's a quad, which is great. So a lot of battle options. So we covered a little bit about East Front Battle Squad. We're going to get into proofing of the rules, and then I'll ask for volunteers. We'll look for volunteers for Eastern Front battles shortly here. We introduced a little bit about something I hadn't heard of before, which is Joe Fernandez's Storm of Steel, Junkers 87. And I also mentioned in passing that we've got Stuka Ace coming from Gregory M. Smith as well. So I hope you like the sneak peek of the Storm of Steel game that we have some really cool artwork being done on that right now. So we took a look at that one. And of course, we did a lot. We looked at a lot of the charts and tables being done right now for Hitler's Last Gamble. It's a work in progress, as I mentioned. There's going to be, you saw there was a lot of areas where we're going to be adding content in the area of examples to help with learning the game system, applying the game system, which is fairly involved as a simulation game that it is. So I think everybody's going to appreciate that. We looked at Beneath the Southern Cross. So I think we played pretty good catch up on quite a few games. And as I mentioned, nothing really worth showing on American Tank Ace and Third World War series because those are already basically going to the printers at this point. So we'll wait until those games are closer to release. So with that, I'm going to see if there's any questions here. So let me just go over here just for a second. I'm not going to go too far back in time here. I think Bill was answering questions here. So about Battle Hymn 2 Solitaire system being backwards compatible. So I believe he's going to answer that or maybe answer that. Yes, it goes back the Battle Hymn 1. So thanks, Bill, for answering that question. Appreciate that very much. Let's see here. Why do some wargamers continue to use the word simulation in relation to war games? There are very few wargamers that could be classified as real-time, maybe Ace of Aces and not simulation. So I'm pretty old school. So I go back to SPI days where like advertisements for Campaign for North Africa, Mech War 2, certain games, the way SPI would talk about games is, yeah, this is a quad game, pretty straightforward game. It's a war game. Or in the case of Campaign for North Africa, this is a simulation game, meaning we're trying to simulate a lot about reality. In other words, we're not streamlining. This is like the opposite of Gregory M. Smith, what he does with his designs. He is the muse and expert on how to take historical situations and streamline them down to the core basics where you don't have to almost deal with it with rules. So I would say I'm very comfortable using the word simulation. I guess recently I've used it. I'm really interested in OSG's Rommel and Tunisia. I was always intrigued by that game system. I think it put off some people because the rules were narrative style written. And that was another game where the word simulation was attached to it because Kevin, I'm sorry, the designer, not Kevin. It wasn't Kevin. It was losing the name now. It was the person who designed Highway to the Reich. I'm losing the name now, but I know who it is. But basically, simulation game to me means a very detailed war game. And I can't help it. I'm going to say simulation all the time. I'm always going to default to simulation when I'm trying to explain to somebody. So Brittany, who bought Fall Blau, Brittany, I would say you're bordering on a simulation game with Fall Blau. I mean, it's still pretty much a game, but once you get to rules at a certain amount or clip level, I would say the same about NATO from Bruce Maxwell. Although the rules didn't have to be 100 pages, don't get me wrong; those rules could have been much shorter, but it was great that the rules were 100 pages from Bruce Maxwell because he covered like a lawyer. He approached very smartly the rules, including that veteran section. So you could skip sections if you knew what zones of control meant. Maybe you just read a paragraph or two, and you don't have to read the rest of the rules like you've never played a war game before. But I'd say, Brittany, you're sort of bordering on simulation game because Fall Blau, I think some people would say Fall Blau is not a pickup game where you're going to learn it. Say you're going to start the rules on Thursday, Friday, and you're going to play it on a Saturday and be done. It's going to take a long time. There's going to be a lot of rules missed the first time you play it. There's going to be a lot of detail and flavor for certain things, special rules, Chrome rules. To me, a simulation can be defined by Chrome rules, like an equation. Chrome rules plus counter density, overall system complexity in terms of what is not streamlined or simplified. That is why I use the word simulation. So that is my long answer to Jack's very nice, thoughtful comment. So Jack has a very specific thought on what a simulation means. And I just want to share, when I use the word simulation, to me, it means something quite different. But that could be a different topic one day, perhaps. And then, so Bill says simulation in his book. So again, interesting. What then is a stimulation game? Now that is a great question that we cannot cover until it's after hours, and I would have to charge you. For that session. That would be like one of those private channel subscriptions. We could talk about a stimulation game, so we won't be able to do that. So we'll have to skip that for now. So Contact Now, yes, Contact Now is looking to end of 2022. We need some leg room. There's a lot of components to the game. There's a lot of the proofing, and then of course all the components, many components being printed, and that whole turnaround time as another example. Mo's right that Aaron Armour is an example of something that's more like a simulation than say NATO is. Given the rules and what's been streamlined and what it's trying to simulate, which will hopefully stimulate you as well for enjoying games. So that is another way to look at it. So let's see here. Let's see if there's any other final questions in here. Now we're not going to get into Electric Shock tonight. Probably that could be in the Applebee's lounge later. Thanks for the Manassas update there. Bill, which I missed. Let's see if there's any other comments from folks here. Don't want to miss your comments. I think, we took care of that answer. Bill took care of that answer on Manassas. Joe Youst, is that a question? I missed that question. Sorry. Joe Youst would be, we'd love to work with Joe Youst on something. That would be cool. Yeah. Right. Sure. Greg's earned that right to be an exalted designer because he does such cool stuff. Western Front Ace, second half of 2022. Bill is the man tonight. Bill is working overtime. He's an hour later. He's East Coast time. So I should just keep going for a few hours. So one question I had is, should we do a telethon at Compass Games? In other words, should we keep Bill and Billy talking about games? Like, should we spend, I think we should have Bill and Billy go through the catalog game line item by line item and spend at least 15 minutes talking about each game. And we can call that the Compass Games Telethon. And during our telethon, we have those special offers you can do on the website, which is live now. And I think 15 minutes per game would net out to about 24 hours, at least, maybe. So maybe we can do something like that. We'll look for your suggestions. If you'd like to see a special show format, we've got the town halls going so far. We've got these live sessions going so far. Oh boy, here we go. Telethon of unboxings by Bill. Now that would be special. That would be special, I think. I agree with that. That would be very cool. So here's some more dates for you. For those not on YouTube that are on Facebook, just want to share with you, Bill Thomas is on YouTube right now, so everybody on YouTube channel can see Bill's comments. So dates for Motherland, end of 2022. That one's pretty much going to be wrapped up. Just going to format the rules. But that one's pretty much done. Let's see here. Will it be possible to combine shipping with the Russian campaign Kickstarter with sales purchases? I think that's a question Bill would have to answer because that's sort of a back office question for him. So he'll have to answer that. And then as a reminder, as I let everybody go, there is one thing very important I want to mention because we are less than 2 months out from this. Folks, important. Compass Games Expo 2021. I should call it the Compass Games Half Price Expo deal or something like that because everybody knows what's great about Compass Expo. It's not just seeing all the gamers there and making new friends. It's meeting Bill, Billy Thomas, everybody else, and getting these great special deals on Compass Games. It's nuts, the special deals. So people will bring suitcases over to avoid VAT tax. People from UK bring their suitcases, pick up games. So yeah, you definitely want to look at Compass Games Expo. It's not long from now, folks. November 11th through the 15th at the Comfort Inn and Suites. Just to give you an update on the hotel, we recently learned that they've got some COVID protocols as far as the free breakfast. So if you stay at the hotel as a guest, and we have a very reasonable negotiated group room rate for the event. The way breakfast is done is they're actually wrapping, like all the sandwiches are pre-wrapped and protected. So they're taking extra steps at the hotel with the food offerings. I must also say, which doesn't come as a big surprise to me, the food offerings for like breakfast are very limited. It's like back to basics because of COVID. So if you're looking for coffee, orange juice, a breakfast sandwich of some sort, whatever it's going to be, that's going to be about it. It's not going to be, don't expect a huge buffet style, go crazy breakfast at the hotel. You'll get your basic supplies and you can walk across the street and get a better selection for breakfast if that's your desire. But I did want to give you that update on Compass Expo about the hotel. They were able to share that with us. I did add a note about the breakfast buffet, that there's some COVID compliance. It's going to be limited food options. So I always want to be upfront with everybody to know that's the situation. Of course, everybody's going to ask if I'm going to go to Compass Expo, do I have to show a vaccination card? Do I have to be vaccinated? Do I have to wear a mask all the time while I'm sitting at a table gaming? So I do want to cover that briefly. So the answer to that question is that as long as you're in the private area, our private group area, which is our seminar room, because we will have seminars for the first time this year. We'll have Greg Smith, Bruce Max. I think Bruce is coming as well. We've got Ernie Copley. We've got, I'm missing 3 or 4 other designers that are going to be there. So we have a lot of designers. Bill Cooper is going to be there. So a lot of designers who will be able to do seminars. So we'll have a little seminar room. There is a small seminar room. for talks. And Bill, of course, will do a company update. Of course, Bill's going to do a company update where we all can get together and have some fun. Which I'm really looking forward to actually a lot. And you can be sitting there without a mask. So as long as you're in a private area, you can go maskless. Also, when you're at a gaming table sitting down, you could be maskless or walking around the game tables. It's just when you're in a public access area of the hotel, when you're checking into the hotel, when you're in the lobby/registration area, or the hotel hallways where the hotel guest rooms are, the hotel would like you to be masked up. For that, but otherwise treat it like a restaurant. Once you're in the hotel and you're in our area, our Compass area for the event, you can drop the mask if that's your if that's what you feel comfortable doing. You can do that. There is no regulation that says you have to be vaccinated. There's no regulation that says they're going to ask you for a vaccination card at all. That's not going to be asked or come up. It's just basically look at it as a masking policy. So again, just want to share that with you. We were able to update the website. So we're now showing again the list of special events that will be taking place outside of the seminars. Those will be separate. We've got 78 registered attendees. We're definitely going to hit 100 by the time November rolls around, because we're not even in the 30-day track yet, but definitely, and those for those on the East Coast, definitely please spread the word if you're on the East Coast, or if you're like driving distance to Connecticut, Meriden, Connecticut, a few hours, definitely let your gaming partners know about the event, because we'll definitely be at 100 plus in time for this event. So you can see, and you can coordinate with everybody with their email addresses here, no problem at all. Here's the game sign-up sheet. So anything that's highlighted in color or grouped are people that are looking to play a certain game. So this is up to date, except for the last person who registered. I do need to add their game signups to this sheet. But yes, this is basically up to date. So if you want to change your signups, you can send an email to john@compassgames.com, and I'll be happy to update this for you. So let me see quickly here. So that's Compass Expo. Again, only 6 weeks away. If you're looking to get Compass product at a steal of a bargain price, deeper discounts than our annual catalog sale. And the catalog sale, I believe Bill's answered that question. The catalog sale typically goes into the year 2022. So Bill can give that information. It's on the catalog. You'll get the catalog. Also, the information of the catalog will be available online as well soon for you once the catalog starts getting received. And we'll talk about that in our town hall next week. So yes, Expo is going to be great. I know Mo's going to be coming to the Expo, and then Ardwolf's Lair, the content contributor, will be there as well. So we're really looking forward to seeing everybody there. Should be a great turnout. We're really looking forward to it. So with that, I think we've had a full packed session. I want to thank everybody again for spending your last hour and 20 minutes with us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the various updates. I hope if you're into Vassal and looking for ways to experience Compass games on the computer, if you don't have the table space at home, I hope you're happy to see the level of detail we've provided you as far as an update goes on Vassal. Taking a very serious commitment and methodical approach to getting Vassal modules out for you all, because we understand and we value you as customers, and we want to support you as best we can. So that's why we're doing that. So with that, just a reminder that we're over at the Applebee's Lounge. If you go to the Compass website, the top right link is a link to where you can find the Applebee's Lounge on the Discord server, so you can join us there. And we'll be there with Mo for a little after hours party tonight. So I want to thank you all very much for joining us tonight. Thanks for your flexibility. We started an hour later tonight. We'll be back to our regular time next Thursday for our town hall session with Bill and Billy Thomas, which will be 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific next Thursday. And again, really looking forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, take care, everybody. It was great to talk with you again. And again, have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday. Bye-bye, everybody.